What if everything you know about manifestation is incomplete? What if there is one missing piece that most people never notice, and that single missing piece is the reason they stay stuck, even when they do everything right? Maya Ange Teachings have inspired thousands of people around the world. People learn about mindset shifts, energy alignment, visualization, affirmations, and the power of belief. On the surface, it all sounds complete, powerful, even life-changing. But here's where things get interesting, because despite all of this knowledge, many people still feel blocked. They still feel like something is not working, like they are doing everything, but nothing is changing in the real world. And that raises a deeper question. What if the problem is not what you are doing, but what you are missing? In this video, you are going to discover something most people completely overlook in Maya Ange Teachings. Something subtle but extremely powerful. A missing piece that changes how manifestation actually works in real life, not just in theory. You will understand why some people see results quickly while others stay in the same place for months or even years, despite using the same methods. We are going to break down what is often left unspoken, the gap between thinking and becoming, between visualizing and actually shifting your reality. You will learn why intention alone is not enough, and why even strong belief can fail without one crucial element that connects everything together. And here's why you should watch this video till the end, because this is not just another motivational explanation. This is a shift in understanding. If you miss this one idea, you may keep repeating the same cycle without realizing why nothing is changing. But if you understand it fully, it can completely change how you approach your thoughts, your actions, and your results from this moment forward. There are lesser known truths hidden inside personal transformation teachings that rarely get explained clearly, small details that make a huge difference in outcomes, and once you see them, you can't unsee them. You start to realize what was missing all along. So stay with me until the end, because what you are about to learn might explain everything you've been experiencing so far and what has been holding you back without you even knowing it. Welcome to the Soul Manifestation Code. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe, because this channel is all about uncovering deep truths, breaking down powerful ideas, and helping you understand the real mechanisms behind transformation, mindset, and manifestation in a way that actually applies to your life. Maya Ange Teachings have become widely known for their focus on mindset, energy, and personal transformation. The core idea is simple on the surface. Change your thoughts, shift your energy, and your outer reality begins to reflect that change. It sounds powerful, and for many people, it feels like the missing key they have been searching for. The idea of manifestation, self-growth, and mental alignment creates a sense of hope that things can finally improve. People start by learning different techniques. Some focus on affirmations, repeating positive statements every day. Others spend time visualizing their ideal life, trying to feel as if it already exists. Some work deeply on their beliefs, trying to remove negative thoughts and replace them with empowering ones. There is a strong belief that if the inner world changes, the outer world will naturally follow. At first, there is excitement. It feels like something is shifting. A new mindset creates a new sense of possibility. People feel motivated, more aware of their thoughts, and more intentional about what they want. But as time passes, something starts to feel different. The results don't always show up the way they expect. Life doesn't change as quickly as they imagined. The same situations continue, the same delays appear, and slowly confusion begins to build. Even when they are consistent with techniques, affirmations, and visualizations, many people still feel stuck in the same place. It creates a silent frustration. They start questioning themselves. They wonder if they are doing something wrong, or if they are missing something important. Because on the surface, they are doing everything they were told to do, but deep down, the change they expected is still not fully visible in their reality. The real problem begins when people focus only on thinking and believing. They spend so much time working on their mindset, trying to stay positive, repeating affirmations, and imagining a better future. They believe that if their thoughts are aligned, everything else will naturally fall into place. But this is only one side of the process. What gets ignored is action. Real, consistent action. the kind that requires effort even when motivation is gone, the kind that pushes you to move when nothing feels exciting anymore. Discipline slowly disappears from the equation because people assume that inner change alone is enough to create outer results. So they expect life to shift without changing their behavior. They want new outcomes while repeating the same patterns. They want different results, but they stay in the same habits, the same routines, the same level of effort. And over time, this creates confusion because in their mind, they are doing the work. But in reality, something is missing. Inner work without outer action creates imbalance. You can spend hours reflecting, visualizing, and reprogramming your thoughts, but if your daily actions remain unchanged, nothing physical has a reason to shift. Thoughts can guide direction, but they cannot replace movement. Belief can open the door, but it cannot walk through it for you. This is where many people get stuck without realizing it. They are working internally, but not externally. They are building awareness, but not building momentum. And because of that gap, results feel delayed or inconsistent. It's not that the process doesn't work. It's that only half of it is being applied. And when action is missing, even the strongest mindset starts to feel incomplete. The deeper truth is not something most people want to hear at first, because it removes the comfort of waiting and replaces it with responsibility. The missing piece in everything they are trying to achieve is consistent action, not occasional effort, not emotional bursts of motivation, but steady, repeated movement in the same direction, even when nothing feels exciting. People often wait for the right feeling before they act. They wait until they feel motivated, inspired, or mentally ready, but that state doesn't stay long enough to build real change. It comes and goes without warning. If action depends on emotion, progress becomes unstable. Some days you move forward, most days you don't. There is also a habit of waiting for signs, waiting for confirmation that it is the right time, waiting for clarity to appear before taking the next step. But life rarely gives clear signals in advance. Most progress happens without certainty. It happens in motion, not in waiting. What actually creates change is daily discipline. The decision to act even when nothing feels aligned, even when the mind is uncertain, even when there is no immediate reward. That is where transformation starts to take shape. Not in perfect moments, but in repeated effort. Energy alone is not enough without movement. Feeling positive, visualizing success, and believing in possibilities can only take you so far. Without action, energy stays internal. It has no direction, but when you combine energy with consistent movement, something changes. Ideas start turning into progress, intentions start turning into reality, and what once felt distant begins to feel real through repetition, not emotion. Real transformation begins when belief is no longer just a thought in your mind, but something that is matched with action in your daily life. Many people believe deeply in change. They feel it, they visualize it, they even speak about it as if it already exists. But belief alone stays invisible if it is not expressed through what you actually do. The shift happens when thinking and doing start working together. Thoughts can give you direction. They can show you what you want and where you want to go. But direction alone does not create movement. Action is what turns direction into reality. Without it, even the clearest vision remains stuck in the mind. Nothing physical changes until behavior changes. It is the small steps repeated every single day that slowly reshape who you are. Not sudden breakthroughs, not one powerful moment, but quiet consistency. The things you repeat begin to define you. What you do daily becomes your identity over time. You don't become something instantly, you grow into it through repetition. At first, the changes feel small, almost unnoticeable. But with time, those small actions accumulate. They start building a new version of you, a version that is not just thinking differently, but acting differently. And that difference is what separates intention from transformation. There is also a deeper principle many overlook. The universe does not respond only to what you think or what you want. It responds to what you consistently do. Behavior carries more weight than intention alone, because intention is internal, but behavior is proof, and it is that proof that shapes what comes next. Every repeated action sends a signal about who you are becoming, and reality begins to adjust to that signal over time. People often believe they are blocked. They feel stuck, as if something outside of them is stopping progress from happening. They think there is a hidden barrier, a delay in the universe, or some invisible force holding their life back. But in reality, the blockage is rarely external. Most of the time, it is inactivity disguised as confusion or inconsistency disguised as effort. The real issue is not lack of ability, it is lack of follow through. Action is not happening often enough, or it is happening only in short bursts. A few motivated days, followed by long pauses. A cycle of starting and stopping that never builds real direction. And because of that, progress feels invisible. Everything begins to change the moment excuses stop being part of the process. Not when everything feels perfect, not when confidence appears fully formed, but when the habit of delaying decisions starts to break, when later is no longer an option you keep choosing. That shift creates space for movement. Even imperfect action is enough to interrupt stagnation. It does not need to be flawless. It does not need to be fully planned. It only needs to happen. One small step taken consistently has more power than endless thinking without execution, because movement creates feedback, and feedback creates adjustment, and adjustment creates growth. Momentum does not appear suddenly. It builds quietly, almost invisibly at first, through repeated effort that seems small in the moment but becomes powerful over time. A single action leads to another, then another, and slowly what once felt stuck begins to move. Not because conditions changed, but because consistency finally did. Maybe nothing is missing except action itself. That thought changes everything when you sit with it long enough. Because most of the time, people keep searching for something outside themselves. A new method, a better mindset, a stronger belief system, something that will finally unlock the results they have been waiting for. But in that search, they overlook the simplest truth. Everything you've been trying to understand might already be clear. It is not that you lack knowledge. It is not that you are missing the right technique. It is that action has not been consistent enough to turn what you know into what you live. Ideas stay ideas until they are practiced. Thoughts remain thoughts until they are expressed through behavior. And once you understand that, everything starts shifting. Not because life suddenly becomes easier, but because your approach changes. You stop waiting for perfect timing. You stop expecting motivation to carry you forward. You stop assuming that clarity must come before movement. Instead, movement becomes the source of clarity. There is a different kind of awareness that comes from doing, from showing up even when it feels uncertain, from continuing even when progress feels slow. It is in that space where real change begins to take shape, quietly, gradually, without needing constant validation or external confirmation. And suddenly, what once felt complicated becomes simple. Not easy, but simple. You either act or you stay in the same place. You either move or you remain stuck in thinking, and that realization removes a lot of noise from the mind. Because the real secret was never just belief, it was what you do after you believe. If this message made sense to you, don't ignore it, because understanding something is not enough if it never turns into action. The real change begins when you take what you heard and start applying it in your own life, even in the smallest ways. One step, one decision, one moment where you choose action instead of delay. Start today, not because everything is perfect, but because waiting has never created progress for anyone. You don't need to change everything at once. You just need to begin where you are with what you have and move forward from there. That is how real transformation starts to build. And if this kind of message speaks to you, then make sure you subscribe to our channel, The Soul Manifestation Code, where we share deeper insights, real mindset shifts, and powerful ideas that help you move from thinking into becoming. Also, don't forget to like this video. It helps more people who need this message find it at the right time.